Bonjour classe, aujourd'hui c'est mardi le 9 octobre and I'm going to tell you what we did today into pre-AP, which is fifth period. So the first thing we did was we're going to go over to, I made a new page called weekly warm-ups because the other page seemed to be getting too full. So I'm going to click on les échauffements. La semaine du 8 au 11 octobre. I'm going to click on mardi. So write the following times in word form. If there is a PM, write the time using the 24-hour clock. Otherwise, write the time as you see it. So 8:15 a.m. was il est 8h15 ou 8h15. So for 6:05 a.m., simply you were to write il est 6h05. All right. But if it was a PM, then you had to write it according to l'heure officielle, or the official time, 24-hour time. So, il est 20h25. Okay? So, that's what we did as far as our warm-up goes. And then, of course, I asked what time it was at that moment, and then whoever raised their hand would tell me the time in French. So, I'm going to push this back to where it needs to go. All right, so we did this. Then we went and looked at a couple of schedules that my cousins had when they were in school. So I'm going to go back to, I believe it's here that I put it. And it was, yes, the class schedule of my cousins. So everyone got a handout. And it didn't look exactly like this because I had to cut and paste to make the handout. But anyway, each person got a copy of my cousin Melissa's schedule and Salome's schedule on front and back. And then there were questions, and these are the questions that we answered for each schedule. So we talked about the differences between how a typical high school teenager's class schedule would look like compared to a typical American high school teenager's class schedule would look like. And some of the things we looked at was the fact that it looks more like a college schedule. You don't have the same classes every day. You don't start necessarily every day at the same time. And you don't necessarily end at the same time every day. So that was one thing we noticed. Also, we noticed that they get about an hour and a half lunch. This was my cousin's schedule, high school schedule. She's the older of the two. And then we had my younger cousin's schedule. And her schedule was a little bit different in that she had an art class, whereas my older cousin's schedule did not. So that was something we talked about, how it was the higher you go in high school, the more narrow your schedule becomes as far as choices of classes that you can take, because you become more specialized the closer you get to taking the bac, or le baccalauréat, which is the exit exam that gets you into college. So we talked about that, and then we looked at our sentences. And we we decided on what days of the week Melis had these different classes or didn't have the classes, and we answered those. And then we did not do Salome's because we ran out of time. So tomorrow we'll do Salome's. So that is basically all we did. That's all we had time for. Bon après-midi et au revoir.